he seemed to be in, Bruce went to see him and said, oh, he's really down, he wasn't down when I went to see him. I mean, he wasn't obviously excited about it.
Right.
But he was in way better spirits than I expected.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
For you? You sign in? Last.
Okay.
Very good. I think sounds good.
Speaking, sorry. Sign in, comments.
I didn't sign it in. I didn't sign it in because I don't hold your name.
What's up, my man? Yeah.
Hey, people.
How are you,
Boss
sir?
man,
Bobby.
boss man, little boss man, big boss man, big boss man.
Michelle, you there? How are you? Why are you putting it at the bottom?
He said he thought he was going to be home Wednesday.
Good.
He said
I'm gonna start from the. I'm gonna start from the. I'm just for that. I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up. You do well. No sweat. Looking good. Looking good.
Airport. He's retired, but he's one of the best neurosurgeons there ever was.
Oh, really?
He's taken over.
So if you would read through, I just brought one. Read through and then pass it back.
Cindy, that's down there.
That's what we'll do.
Like they give him chemo. Knows Andrew what's about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it was just.
You need to get off that. I actually
sent
named
this to her to make sure it was checked. I'll tell her.
and
Lori has her. Who? Lori.
We'll all make decisions together, but I'm going to tell him, give you my honest opinion. They all should have been
So they're listening.
more
So
articulate.
what's he saying?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I know that Bruce told me that he's supposed to know
976.
okay.
What?
975.
We're good.
Like I said, he was in way better spirits than I expected.
3, correct. Sewer 3006, good. Water 40077, and the sewage. We're good.
But that's what he likes.
No, it's small stuff. Don't ignore that. Come on, we know.
Jeff's dad, Jimmy, you know, he didn't think I was ready to
Janet,
still alive.
how are you?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Summer.
Bothering him is that he has
I do not. You're right. I should have bring this. Rev 3 was for the last one. I'll record it that it needs to be posted. Hang on. It needs to be posted. I might have it. Yeah. I know that is. All right. Maybe.
he didn't move.
That is that it? That is. It is. Yep, you got it. No, you can take the whole thing. Take this one, please.
Oh, wow.
Let me just make sure I don't have any. I know. Hey, first to ask, first to receive. This is the right one, right? That is correct. R3. Yeah.
Lucky you.
So pretty.
We try to spice it up around here.
Did you fix it?
Yeah.
What's shaking, Bill? I have one request today. I'm sitting in front of my camera. Last time you pulled your chair over.
You've always been a camera hog.
That's right. I gotta get all the attention.
You always want to be in the movie.
Yeah.
That's what we're planning. This looking better. You bring your blanket? No, okay.
We're trying to get done before the sun.
Oh, certainly. I brought my big socks and my boots. And I was
pretty cold last
Y'all
night.
sitting up there,
Oh,
some watch me leave early?
Really uncomfortable.
It was, and these chairs are so comfortable and they stay so warm.
Yeah. Right.
I can make my headway.
We noticed. You want to speak tonight?
I don't even know what we're doing. We gotta get it, once we get it on the lined out,
If he gets cold, he's leaving.
This is like church, nobody wants to sit on the front row.
I noticed. Nobody wants to either be at the, on the pulpit either. Come on now.
is your third man, missing man coming? Number 3?
He was temporary.
I know, but doesn't he need to be here today?
No, he was temporary.
We're all temporary.
Nobody wants to join.
We are.
We're sticking it out.
Okay, in other words, Steve is not on the board anymore?
Nope, resign the next day. Got to continue to pay bills. Oh, crap, I forgot to. I got to give you that invoice for AWR. I went through everything yesterday. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw this line.
Yeah.
I went through it, but I want to go through how they accounted for things.
What was the date of our last, was that the 12th? No, it wasn't. It was the 19th.
Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, it's on the first, yeah.
Before we go back to the.
You leave that this one?
End of,
Oops, it's okay. All right, we ready? Hey, anybody else want to speak? Sign in. Going once, going twice. Okay? Are you ready?
We are.
I'm going to call this special Windermere Oaks Water Supply Corporation special board meeting to order. Roll call, who's present?
Yep.
Yep. Renee French?
Yep, Mary French.
And Jeff Walker? What we want to do is we're going to talk about the deliberation of anybody who would like to join the board. I would like to nominate Mr. Danny Flunker to the board as a board member. I think he'd be a valuable asset to us, and I was hoping that Mr. Flunker would join us.
Kindly decline.
Is there a particular reason? Okay. Well, I figured I'd open that up to you. You seem to have a good passion about all this. Anybody else? It's going to remain this kind of way for a while until we get some takers. So,
Is why don't y'all send something out to the entire community?
we can do that. So you're on the agenda. Yep. It's in the agenda, but that's a good idea. We'll post something. Okay. Since we do not have, we'll kind of need to vote somebody in tonight.
Is there anyone else present who would be able to join us just for the quorum?
Is that possible under our bylaws?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yep. The bylaws specifically say that that it's a special quorum, but the first thing that typically is done is try to fill them. Official business can't be done unless we've got a quorum, and a quorum is 3 out of 5. So that's the reason why the first thing is deliberation and decision to fill them. And so, Brian, you raised your hand?
For the meeting, sure.
Great, thank you very much, appreciate it. So,
Anybody else? It's good stuff that's coming down the pipe, by the way, people. They're all going to probably want to join in like 3 months, you know that? Okay,
So
I make a motion to,
we did, yes?
I make a motion that we include Brian up to our table up here.
I'll second. This is, and a vote?
Let's call for a vote. I don't think there's any discussion.
Okay, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Okay, let's move
I
on.
need to,
You might as well.
Yeah.
What's that?
And you
Thank
pull the
thank
chair
you
to
very,
center.
very much, yeah.
can I take the auxiliary seat?
Yeah, you can take the
You
auxiliary
certainly can.
seat. Absolutely.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, public comment. 3 people would like to speak. We'll start off with Mr. Allen Hicks.
Spectacle on. Most of y'all know me as Alan. Tonight I'm Patty Flunkard. She couldn't be here because she's at work. The campaign promise was when we were going to have meetings on Saturday so people could come. We're having it on Tuesday. She couldn't make it, so she asked me if I'd read a quick statement. She said, "Board members and community, I'd like to address the potential sale of our unused land in the airport area with a straightforward presentation of facts and consequences. As a 501c12 organization, we have rules governing our finances. If we sell this land, the income will count as non-member income. Here's the critical point. Failing to use this income to reimburse our ratepayers, our members, could lead to a significant 20% tax on profit. This is a financial hit we prefer to avoid. 20% of $1 million is $200,000 in tax penalties. Not to mention, we will lose our nonprofit status as we will fail the 85-15 rule. Here's the solution. We currently owe our ratepayers nearly $1 million in refunds. Using the proceeds from this land sale to fulfill this obligation not only shields us from the IRS tax implications, it also satisfies our duty to our members. Let's consider the broader financial picture. Securing a USDA loan spread out over 30 years at nearly 0% interest is a beneficial option for upgrading our water systems. This loan totaling $1 million would provide the necessary funds to enhance our system's infrastructure. By using the proceeds from the land sale to pay off the ratepayers who have been footing the bill for attorneys for the past 4 years, we can ensure the water system recovers more money each month by not providing refunds. This creates a more stable financial position for Windermere's water supply moving forward. In summary, proceeds from the land sale count as non-profit or non-member income. Failing to use this income to repay our ratepayers could lead to 20% tax increase on profit. We owe our ratepayers nearly $1 million in refunds. Using the land sale proceeds to repay them shields us from IRS issues. Securing a USDA loan spread over 30 years at nearly 0% interest is a beneficial option for upgrading our water system. Paying off ratepayers with land sale money instead of providing refunds allows the water system to recover more funds each month. Board members, it's crucial to recognize that the IRS is currently investigating Windermere, choosing the wrong path, such as for prioritizing paying off attorneys before ratepayers. With the proceeds of the land sale can salvage additional taxes. Consider this moving forward. If the wrong decision is made, I will not hesitate to notify the IRS to investigate further. We must act in the best interest of Windermere water supply and its members. Our financial future depends on it. Thank you. And on a side note, Renee, Jeff, prior board members from, I'd say the land sale forward, George, I watched the minutes of the last meeting. There was talk about the IRS investigation and our lingo of who dimed us out. I sent out to the IRS the information. I sent them 8 emails with over 20 pages of documentation from request for information and documents from the PDC files. And it took a while for them to respond. But I want to let you guys know and let them know I'm not done. There could be some more 3 letters, federal government agencies involved in the investigation, not only that has occurred past with our water corporation, but also with our county attorney, went over stuff with them, and they just kind of blew me off, and I've never got any kind of response for it. I just want to let you guys be made aware of it. There could be some other investigations coming down the road. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Good insight. We'll put that into the notes. The attorneys and the accountants are handling the IRS investigation. So everything is being turned over to them, and they're handling it. We're on it. So
I just wanted to make it clear that I was the one that sent the email.
good. You know, it is.
Can we get a written response to the membership for what Patty told you to read? Is it possible for us to have that in writing?
We'll put it on the minutes.
The
I'll
whole
try to
thing
get-
that you just said?
We
Well,
need a copy.
Well, and maybe if Alan, you mind
Yeah,
sending it to
I'll
us?
forward to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, yeah, we'll publish it. You know, some of those ideas are being already considered and, under consideration on that whole
Well,
thing.
none of us know about that, so it's.
Yeah, no,
for all of
I'm
us to
just,
know that.
yeah. These are things that have been kicked around and just what we've talked to the accountants about and what we talked to the attorneys about, and, how to manage that. Okay, next, Michelle.
At the last meeting, I had, you have mentioned on several occasions that we had an invoice from Lloyd Gosling for $500,000.
Yes, $530,024.
And I've asked that, what does that entail? What is the invoice breakdown for what?
Okay,
And have you made any more progress on being able to answer that question?
good question. I sent an email out. There was two members who volunteered, and one request volunteered to look at the invoices. I sent all those invoices under that period to them last Thursday. They were broken down by areas, general counsel, ratepayers, and others. And they were in a whole stack of emails that were sent to that group for audit
Because
purposes.
there's, a lot of those invoices are in the ratepayer case.
Yeah, most likely they are, but these came directly, untouched. They were all from accounting. I went right to LG accounting. And all the balances add up to that $530 and $24 number. So that means I know they gave me everything to satisfy that invoice.
So will you be prepared at the next meeting to let us know?
I'm waiting for these guys to tell me what they found. So I don't know if Danny's gonna speak to that or not, but we kind of pushed it off to those two individuals for an audit, but I did get it to them on Thursday of last week. It was a pretty big fine.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna sit while I talk. I'm not feeling real good. On to what Michelle was saying, Jeff has brandished these legal invoices in here and alleging indebtedness of over $550,000 close to Gosling. And in September, Gosling submitted a claim to the PUC asserting that all expenses had been settled except for $524,142 related to rate case expenses. In the PUC final order, Gosling was granted $478,184, which was implemented as a surcharge and will be offset by our refund. This results in remaining $45,961. With Jeff's approval, Gosling initiated another proceeding for approximately $200,000. Consequently, our liability to Gosling, as it stands today, is $245,000, not $550,000. Also, I know Rich Schaefer, I asked for all the financials the other day. Before I go through any invoices, I'm gonna look through the financials, because I know that Rich Schaefer wrote other checks. So this is just a ballpark guess, but our liability to Gosling is about $178,000. That's in this new docket. So these three, I guess now, could file something with the PUC that we don't want to continue on with this other docket number and deal with Gosling on their own. That, in my opinion, would be the best bet, because as y'all read in the order, the commissioner said no one could figure out what was going on. And that was our legal advice, I guess. But they were paid a handsome dollar amount to do that, and then no one could figure out what they were doing, really, even the commissioners. That's something else. I mean, that's something to think about. So, in my opinion, they've committed legal malpractice, among other things, but I digress. The dollar amount owed to Gosling is about $178,000, and the rest of it's in the surcharge in this last order, so they have whatever's left in this other docket will be dealt with in that docket. And if they say you owe all of that, they could come back and say, you're not getting a penny, Gosling. And hopefully we'll go down there and make some noise, but if they do get that, that'll be put in a surcharge too. We don't owe them anything. That's been handled. This waving this around and whatnot, that how are we going to pay them? Well, it's being paid through the surcharge. One other thing, if I may. I sent this to these two. We had a little gathering in our house, and one of the guys there said that Renee called him up and said, please, pretty please, as a favor to me, will you come sit up there through one meeting so we can get through our agenda? It's a personal favor. This isn't how this works. Incredibly irresponsible to bring somebody up here that has no clue to what y'all got going on there, and even if he's paying attention and he abstains and doesn't vote, he's responsible for the actions that you take. And so is Steve, and I love Steve. I think Steve's one of the greatest guys ever. It's unfortunate that somebody called him up and said, hey, it's a personal favor to me. Put something out to the community. I suspect that Steve is what, director number 8 that won't sit up there? I mean, y'all didn't tell anybody Judy resigned until we came to the meeting. When Joe Jimenez was sitting up there, Renee, look at me please. When Jimenez was sitting up there, and what did we say? Put something out to the community, invite everyone in. But you're doing exactly what he did. Go into people you know that'll come up here and with no knowledge of what's going on and go along with it. It's wrong. And you know it. Just like Alan mentioned, another campaign promise was to have the meetings on Saturdays. Have you had one on Saturday yet? Really? Patty's at work. She'd love to be here. That's it.
Danny, can I ask you a question? You were saying that we were paying a surcharge for the attorney fees?
$478.
I'll talk about that.
Okay, because I'm not seeing that in my water bill.
Not
No,
yet.
you're not gonna see it.
I have a handout.
There's a surcharge and a refund. The good news is the people that have been here a long time, even though it's good news and bad news, a lot of the attorney's fees are going to be paid by the new people coming in. It's just the way it is.
So it's a surcharge that has
everybody,
to get billed
hey,
to everybody else.
Hey Susan, can I
No.
stop you? I have some handouts. I'll go through it all with everybody. So just give me a second. First off, Danny, I'm gonna challenge you again. I did not authorize that docket. I stated to you in one of the other meetings, and I'm going to get it on tape again. I did not authorize Lloyd Gosling on December 20th to move forward with that docket.
But you can end it.
And that's
Wait a second. Let me finish. We can totally.
Point of order.
Okay, hang on a second.
Brian, point of order. It's not on the agenda.
Well, hang on a second. Can we just get through tonight's agenda? I just want to address what you said. We can end it, Michelle, very easily. And I've talked to people at PUC in well over 30 days ago how to end it. It's 3 people coming together. PUC, Windermere Oaks, and the ratepayers. We own this. Windermere Oaks does. Not Lloyd Gosling. I've known that from day one. I've known it from day one since they filed it on our behalf. So this can go away, and it will go away. That's why it hasn't really been an issue. I think we have bigger things to talk about, to worry about. We present this today. We do owe Lloyd Gosling $530,000, and they will be coming after us. Okay? The surcharge, hang on a second. The surcharge, which you'll see in here, equates to what was in the order of $478,000. Every month, everybody's going to get a surcharge, and I'll show you in the thing. I'm supposed to pay that to Lloyd Gosling. Okay? But guess what? Wait till you see the numbers, and we'll get to this next, about how we're gonna have to use that funds. So if I can table some of the things Danny has to say, but we need to also clarify it. I've asked for them, or they volunteered to go through the invoices. Let's audit it, let's see what they say. I get a monthly invoice from them, and that's all I'm presenting back to the membership. 530,000, it just came in again, and if you look at our letter of engagement, that's what it is. I do want to address, hang on a second, I do want to address the special meetings, the board meetings. This is a special meeting. This is to ratify the order that came through for our rates. That's why it wasn't held on a Saturday. We needed to get this going because it needs to get into our first billing, which is the 1st of April. We needed time to everybody to digest it. So this is a special meeting, not one of our scheduled board meetings, which will happen on a Saturday, which we did vote on. So that's a note of clarification. This was a special board meeting called to us so we can walk you through what happened at the order last week. And I have handouts for at least 10 of you individuals. I didn't know who was coming, but you'll have to share. So that's all I know. I'm just relaying information to everybody about what I know and what people are telling me. If there's a different set of numbers, I got no problem going back and talking to anybody on the, within Lloyd Gosling, and they might challenge us. They might come back and say, okay, well, you guys think it's this, we're gonna challenge you, which means we're gonna have to defend it. The PUC will not get involved in contract disputes. Bottom line.
I question it because Lloyd Gosling filed in the rate case in September, late September,
It's in there.
that we were paid up
Yep.
for everything, all legal obligations except for the rate case.
Right, and that's 478.
So, and it states that we've already paid $146,000 towards that case.
Yeah, we can go talk to them. I'm just giving you what they've told me.
And then PUC orders that we only are obligated, potentially, we still have one more case before the commissioners to come up on what we actually are going to owe them.
That's this case that will be, we won't be fighting it because Lloyd Gosling can't submit anything in there because they're not a legal term. People
So
anyway.
even if PUC stands behind the $475,000 for the rate case, we've already paid them $146,000 towards that. That's the reason I'm asking for the clarification, because when I look at the numbers, I'm trying to figure out where we are now obligated to pay them $500,000. I mean, because I thought we fired them already, and so.
Fired him on the 24th.
So when I hear $500,000, and I also know that we are in a financial situation as a water supply corporation, I want my board members to do their fiduciary responsibility to go through those invoices and explain them to me as a member. And I'm asking for that explanation. And I'm assuming it's being worked on.
That's correct.
So.
I'm waiting for their feedback. I've looked at it.
Everybody here wants that explanation.
I have looked at it.
I just told you, and I could be more clear. I want the financials. I want to look at the financials.
There's only two of us up here. Amazing. So one last thing
Exactly
is,
what I wanted. I asked for it in
let's,
an email.
well, I want to talk about PIA requests. All PIA requests go through the legal team.
What
Doesn't-
does PIA mean?
Public Information Access or Office. Okay, they will go through the legal team. That's what I've been instructed to do by our general counsel. Everything will go through them, not me. I'm not the PIO.
You are.
No, I'm not, Danny. I know that you talked to the Attorney General, and so have I. And I talked to our legal counsel, and this is how we're gonna handle it. If you wanna bring me up on charges because I'm not getting you the information you want, that's your right. Feel free to. I'll be more than happy to talk to the sheriff, which I've done already. So unfortunately, that's where we're at. There's only two guys here. You're sending us PIA requests that we don't have access to that information. We're doing the best we can. And that's all I'm gonna say in that. They keep coming to me and you have Mr. Walker written all over it. And I asked you if you would like to join us up here at the board, and you don't want to because we need help. We need help. We need a lot of help. And nobody's stepping up to the plate.
A bunch of people stepped up to the plate. since we didn't have a point of order, may I? This is from the bylaws. The president shall be the chief executive officer of the corporation. Number 5, from the bylaws, directly from the bylaws. The vice president shall, in the absence or disability of the president, perform the duties and exercise the powers of the president, and he shall perform such other duties. You
I
cannot
only
not
have 10.
have
I only have 10 of these.
somebody
Can you
want
share
to
those?
give the information. Careful about it. And so everyone here knows what I've asked for. I've asked for the minutes. They haven't produced one single set of minutes for an entire year. I've asked for the financials. The things I'm asking for aren't outrageous.
We know that,
Everyone-
Danny. We know that they're not outrageous. We have them in a queue, but unfortunately, a lot of that data is not available, and we only have 2 people here. You think we work for the corporation 24/7? You could sit there and laugh. Well, I am. But I'm looking right at your camera, and I'm looking right at his, and I'm looking at the audience. So let's bring some more people in here to help us out. Okay, we have anything else? Yeah, Renee? I do have one more extra if anybody needs it. Anybody want to help? Oh, Renee, you need this? You want to go through this first and show you about the rest? Okay.
This is considered part of 5A.
Yeah, this is considered next agenda item. Let's look at the new rates and the impact. This is what came down in the order last week from the PUC. Everybody on the new rate base page? Okay? So this is their new rate for water and sewer, and also for the usage fees. This is directly taken out of the order itself. Okay? Everybody clear on that? Your rates are dropping almost by 2/3. Refunds and surcharge, page 2. This is your refund that you're going to get. You're going to get a $43.59 refund on water, $32.03 on sewer, totaling $75.62. Go back to the previous page and look at how much I'm generating as far as revenue-wise, just on base rate. Just on base. I'm generating about $71. I'm short, guys. That's just on base rate. So now keep in mind on that refund and surcharge page. Surcharge, rate expense. That should say rate legal expense. That is in the order. That totals out to that $478,000. That's what they said that we would be able to pay back on our legal expense for the rate case. $39.21. That will go on your bill. So all 3 of those blocks will go on your bill. New water rates, refund, and a surcharge. Okay? This is for 45 months. If you've been a client or a member for 45 months, that's how long you'll be. If you just signed up with us on the 1st of January, you'll only have January, February, and March, because you won't have March because this is, we're 30 days in arrear on billing. This will take effect at the end of this month. Hence, that's why we needed a special meeting tonight, because it takes effect and we gotta ratify these new rates. Everybody clear so far? Go to the next page. So a billing example. This is just based upon base rates, no usage. New base rates total, water and sewer, $70.83. If you're a new customer coming on, let's say April 15th, that's what your water and sewer rate will be, total. With the $39.21 as your surcharge. You'll pay a monthly fee of $110.04 as a brand new customer. Now notice there's no refunds in there because you didn't participate in the last 45 months. This is new customer. Everybody clear on that? That's why the refunds aren't in there. I put the refund in there for customers that were on the water system in the last 45 months. That means your total monthly bill is $34.42. Now, think of what your bill is now. It is a lot. How do you run a corporation on a billing of $180 and you're cutting the revenue by $34.42? 2/3. Our revenue just got cut.
But you aren't running it on that.
Hang on a second. I'm not done yet. Michelle, I appreciate it. Let me go through this. Okay? That's just an example based upon base rates. Just base rates. And yeah, I am running it on that. Okay? So, I don't factor in on this sheet because we really don't know what it is. Notice on the second page it had usage rates. We don't really know what those are because it depends on what people use. We have a guesstimate, which is in my monthly revenue page, as you see here, monthly revenue. We took a swag on it based upon history. It doesn't have any new taps. How much new construction is going to be? I know that there's 2 new hangars going to be built inside the airport. I know that, so I can estimate what those are going to be. Those are tap fees and such, and monthly fees coming on board. So, and we have standby fees. So if you look at the monthly revenue page, my monthly revenue, this is of current members, 278 times 3442 equals $9,568 that I'm generating in revenue per month. If I add my expected usage rates, 12.5, that's revenue, plus the $1,800 I get from tap fees, my estimated monthly revenue is approximately $23,868. Now that can fluctuate based upon usage. Keep in mind, what did Tammy Hager say about LCRR cracking down on usage now? They're going to really get big at the LCRA. I was with them yesterday. They were in another meeting with LCRA, and the LCRA, because of the lake level at Travis, they're going to really hammer on people to not use water over this summer unless that puppy fills back in. So that is a concern we should have. These are very conservative numbers. And it does not include tap fees. Tap fees are the new members coming in. I know I know 2 people are going to be building hangars in there. That's roughly over $9,000, $10,000 worth of revenue that'll be accrued at some month, but it depends on when they do it and if they do it. Okay? Everybody makes sense so far, right? Let's go to the next page. These are all facts. You can read the order. It's in the order. And you can read it in our budget. Okay? Monthly expenses. Monthly expenses are $34,000. That's based upon the budget that we did last week. Divide that by 12. And I'll tell you right now, we're blowing that budget already now. Legal expenses because of the IRS filing, PIA requests. We have other compliance filings we need to do. Our legal is going to be still high in 2024. Get set for it. It's going to happen. We still are thirsty around here for legal. Okay? So it's based upon our approved budget, which was $398,500. Okay? That includes no room for maintenance on the system, by the way. I just sat with AWR. We just got a $41,000 bill from them because of all the breaks that they had and what's going on in our water plant because of the low lake levels that we hear out here. More than happy. They would love to sit with any of the members who want to go talk to them about their last invoice or why all of our chemicals are so high and what they are. The biggest thing we can get would be what Susan wants and everybody else would be to get a new clarifier over there. And we're putting it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. This does not include any long-term liabilities. I still hold the mark out there at $530 because that's the invoice I'm getting from our former legal team. I know that there's the request, but keep in mind, there's that surcharge. That surcharge amount times 45 equals 45 months equals times the 278 members equals the 478 that was in the order. That's what we're supposed to pay Lloyd Gosling monthly. Do you think they're going to get that money? Look at the numbers. I'm only generating $75 I'm generating $71 in revenue. I got to give back $75. I'm minus $3 in the hole every month. The surcharge is keeping us afloat. How the hell am I supposed to pay legal on that? We don't have it. It's reality, folks. Now, keep in mind, we have not factored into this usage fees, standby tap fees. I don't know how many new homes are going to be over there for tap fees. Don't know. So let's take a look at the next page, monthly expense minus revenue. My monthly revenue is $23,886. I'll wait for the flyover. And this is no maintenance, people. This is just running the plant, no maintenance. Monthly expense estimated $34,000. Gives us a shortfall per month of $10,000. That includes an estimate for usage, tap fees, and so on. I'm minus 10. I got 160,000 in the bank. I think that's what you told me. In cash available in bank.
193,000.
193 now. Okay. That, well, when I put this together, it was 160. So I got a runway of now 19 months. So we can sustain for 19 months. Because we're going to use that savings. But keep in mind, this includes no maintenance. This includes no expansion. This includes nothing. This includes no long-term obligations. This includes legal fees in our budget of only $3,000. I've already blown that away in the month of March because of some of the things that are going on. 20's not there. Black and white. Numbers don't lie. Any questions so far? So, what do we do? Well, there's a page that states it in your handout. You got that page? This one's missing. Yeah, what do we do?
Lottery tickets.
Well, yeah. Can I do a rate increase? No. I can't do a rate increase. Not allowed to under the order and under the compliance filing. We'll file that sometime in December. Your rates will probably have to go up to sustain, people. Surcharge or assessment. We might have to charge one of those, but I can't do it just yet. Okay, we just can't. We're bound as a community that we, from the order and from the compliance filing, we cannot do a rate increase. We as a community cannot. Do we sell some land? Yeah, maybe. Very good idea. It's ideas that have been kicked around amongst us. Hey, instead of, we can accumulate the cost of the refund, give everybody a lump sum refund if we sell the land, what we're thinking of, what's been proposed to us. Hasn't been finalized. Wes is on the East Coast. Haven't been able to talk to him where that potential deal is, but that would be a big windfall. Patty is absolutely right with what Mr. Hicks stated. Sure, pay back everybody's the refund. That gives me $75 more coming in per month. But then I just gave away all the land sale. What about long-term liabilities to other people that we owe? What about opening up the budget? Can I cut costs any? I'm down to the bare bones. You could scrub the budget if you guys want to. You can go talk to AWR. It's an open corporation. We're just sharing you the information. Can you pray? Hell yeah. Absolutely. Because if anything goes wrong with that water plant, a pump goes out, we dig into that $193,000 each month. Pumps are not cheap. I was with AWR and they're just like this. Hold it together for 12 months. Then I'm going to have a rate increase, and you guys might be not pleased about that, but we're going to have to come back to the community and say, hey, this is where we're at. We're only bringing in this amount of revenue, but our expenses are this. We've cut to the bare bones. The budget that was presented at one of the meetings was incorrect because our insurance rates are out of this world. Right, Renee? Yeah. They're close to $100,000 in our insurance. D&O, property, liability, the barge. What was the barge? The barge alone was 28, 25, something like that. Yeah, it was like $25,000 to insure that barge that sits out there that pumps our water up into here. It's insane. We have 5 insurance policies, by the way. So that's where we're at with this order. It's real. The order numbers don't lie. Take it times 278 active paying members. Now, some of those things are usage fees, and I've talked to if you talk to the PUC, they will tell you you have cash reserves. Spend it. Go sell land. That's what they're telling us to go do. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm getting advice from people who have the order, who have looked at us for the last 4 years. That's what they encourage us to do. That's where we're at, because I don't know, I can't pull any more money off the trees or out of the water or out of the lake. I just can't. I am what I am, or we are what we are with the order. And that's where we're at. Renee, any comments? My number's off? You know,
I do have a comment.
go ahead.
It's very obvious that this neighborhood can't run a water company. I think the next 18 months or 19 months, we really need to be looking at, with the help of the PUC, becoming an investor-owned utility.
We can do that.
We cannot run our own water company. You guys could sit up there and get us lined out, perfect. We could be just smoking along, doing good. But we still have cockroaches out here who will come out when the lights show, when the light of us, the water corporation, if it ever got back to normal, they'd come out and they'd figure a way to get their hands back in it. So we don't deserve to run a water corporation. We need to get with the PUC or whoever. I don't know how that.
Well, the PUC won't buy it.
Well, I don't want them
Yeah.
to buy it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying recommendations on how to become and how to set up becoming an investor-owned utility. It may make our rates go up, but it takes politics out, it takes corruption out. They have to come in and fix the
Why
infrastructure.
can't AWR run it?
And
It takes money to do that, we don't have.
Yeah, we don't have it.
I'm just throwing
AWR,
that out
they're
there.
just
I mean,
not,
there's
no,
other options.
Alan, great idea. I mean, that's what was presented at the last meeting. Aaron gave you some feedback, our attorney gave
I
you some
wasn't here.
feedback on it. Yeah, you weren't here, yeah. But, you know, I mean, that's a user thing. You guys wanna do that, okay. We'll try to go find somebody who wants to invest in this. But they're gonna, you know, I don't know what they're gonna get
Well,
for
it's
it.
obvious that it's profitable because we've had a board spend over $2 million in 4 years on legal fees. So obviously, this thing is profitable. Now, that's just what we know was spent. We don't know what could be in some of these former directors' personal bank
Absolutely.
accounts and our former manager's bank account. I'm not making allegations. I'm just throwing this out there.
Nope.
That we don't know what's in their account.
You're absolutely right. Now, think about the current water rates that you have at $180. That brings in, that generates about $51,000 a month in revenue. Times 12, that's $600,000. My budget is $400,000. Read the math. That doesn't lie. $600,000 in revenue, my expenses, I would be generating $200,000. That's what those guys were doing, but that's where the money was being spent. I mean, you could pull up old revenue reports, and they're there. I pulled them up, I've asked for them, and it was, our run rate was at somewhere 50, 60,000. If you look back in August, September, August, and July of last year, some of them hit $65,000 in revenue. But they had this legal bill. I mean, yeah, we were cash rich. We could have spent all that, but it didn't happen. I'm just going by the order. This is what I've been handed. This is what we've been handed.
It sounds like it's
You
the
know.
PUC's fault, and the PUC saw what was going on out here and saw that these rates were illegally raised to pay funds. It's not their fault. They just said,
No.
this prior board was wrong in what they did, and the ratepayers were raked over the coast, so they deserve the money back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not fighting
The
this.
PUC is not the bad guy.
I'm not saying PUC's the bad guy. I talked to Merritt on Thursday and Friday of last week, who ran this whole thing. I talked to her on Monday. She's like, when's your board meeting? I said, tomorrow night. She goes, you're going to ratify this? I said, yeah. Renee and I have already called it. And we got to ratify it, these new rates in order to implement it. Lori's been doing a great job. She's got all the new rates loaded in the billing system and the surcharges. She has it all parsed out, I do believe, Renee, of when did you come on board? Are you like a 21 member? Are you a 22 member? What month did you come on board? So you're only going to get refunds for those number of months. So if you've only been on the water system for 10 months, you only get 10 months of refunds. And then you go back to that 110 number. But there's not that many people. That's the unfortunate thing.
You ought to backload that.
Yeah. I wish we could.
Pay them with the last 10 months.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wish we could. Wish we could. Susan, question?
On the surcharge, is
Yep.
that part of the order?
Yes.
It's set.
Yeah, it's
You
set.
cannot make any changes.
You can't make any
You cannot add an additional surcharge.
Nope,
Okay.
lockdown.
Not for 1 year.
Not only is it in this order, it's in the compliance filing order as well.
It's locked down for how long?
1 year.
1 year.
Okay, so after 1 year, you can make changes to the surcharge.
Yeah,
We can apply.
Yeah, and what they said to do, this was advice that the PUC gave us, we can apply 6 months from April 1st here. We apply, because it'll take it 6 months to get it through the PUC. It's gotta go it's gotta go back in front of the commission. So they have to sign it. It takes, we're talking politics. How long did it take to get the rate appeal done? Or some of the compliance filing? It'll take time. They have to sign off on it. So they say, apply for it. If it happens on month 10, great, it'll sit there, but it can't become effective until our one year anniversary.
Okay.
So that's rates and surcharge. Any money that the water company has to come back and get from you guys, that's it. Question? Yeah, no, okay. It's scary. Danny, you seem to have a question.
No, I mean, I'd love to believe everything you're saying, but until I get my hands on the financials, I don't trust any of this.
Okay, well, it's in the order. Those are rates.
But I asked for
And the
financials.
budget's, the budget's set.
Renee, how long ago did I ask for the financials? 6 months? And then I just asked for them again. I want to look at it myself. Period. And now you're telling me that you sent it off to the attorneys and they're going to handle it.
Well, they'll handle the response, yeah. Because not only are you sending in PIA requests, I have other people that are sending in PIA requests. You're not the only
Put
one.
the financials online. Put the minutes
We're
online.
trying to find them, Danny. There's only 2 guys here,
Then
really?
how are you coming up with these numbers?
Yeah.
These numbers are based upon budget.
No, how do you know we have $193,000?
That's in our bank account.
I know, but how do you know we have no liabilities against that, or, I mean,
I'm only going
I'm
on
just.
I'm only going on what.
I mean,
what
I think
this-
we all deserve a set of financials for the corporation, so when can we see that?
And those are supposed to be
I thought
handed out
y'all
at the annual
handed off
meeting.
your financials to an accountant to go put this in QuickBooks and get us some financial statements. What happened to that?
The QuickBooks has been picked up as online, and those reports are in the process of getting finalized with the new users.
When can we see the financial statements?
I gotta defer that one.
It's dependent on the MVP guys getting
Yeah,
it set up.
Yeah.
What does that mean to us?
Well,
I'm sorry, I can't give you a specific date.
yeah. Knowing that we have, knowing what our budget is, and our budget was scrubbed a couple of times. So the budget we know is going to be $400,000. You can look at the budget. If you want to go in there and look to see how we can cut even more cost, love to have somebody else look at it. We looked at it, some of the other previous board members did, and so on. We had even the PUC person looked at it and said, wow, your insurance rates went up a great deal. Yeah, she didn't have accurate data. They did. They went up significantly. But even if the budget's off, let's say the budget's off, we're still a shortfall every month on revenue. We're still a shortfall on revenue. I mean, like I said, AWR just shot me a $41,000 bill for the month of February. We can't have that
For
on
1
the
month?
phone.
1 month.
1 month. It's fixes, chemicals, and all their thing. I went through the list with them yesterday. Very detailed. More detailed than we ever did before with George Burns. And it's very detailed. I can show you guys the envelope. It was that thick of their invoices with detailed chemicals. They were pulling out all the sludge out of the ponds, all the stuff at the bottom of our supposed clarifier, which is actually a 3-tank system, and so on.
Well, what do y'all take in a month from all the monthlies? Everybody's paying their bills. what, about 70,000 or something?
It averages between 50 and 65,000. Currently. That's current rates. Right there on the sheet here, what I plan to get, this, it'll be 23,000.
But I was just gonna say, we weren't running the water supply corporation on the money that we were taking in. $100 a month was going to pay attorneys. That was leaving you with $79 a month that supposedly we're supposed to be running the water supply corporation on. I mean, I'm just
You know, our
making a
expenses have
statement.
gone up.
I
The-
understand
yeah,
that,
I'm-
for everybody, the expenses have gone up. So I understand that, but we can't say that we were running the water supply corporation on these previous bills, because we weren't. $100 a month, those bills was going to pay for legal fees.
Much. But you gotta remember, your bill was 180,000, or $180.
Yeah, some, I was saying 179.
Yeah, 179.
Weren't they paying 10,000 a month?
Yes.
That's all they were paying.
Well, sometimes they would, sometimes they
Oh,
would
they
get
got
a
a
check
check
for
for
like 120,000 in August, for some odd reason. You know, can't control that. Somebody else had their hands on the checkbook. But the deal would have been to pay them off long term. All right.
Or not.
Any other questions? This is where we're at.
What's your recommendation?
All of them that are on there. We're gonna need, we'll need to implement every single one of those, including the pray. Pray that nothing happens in the water plant. I
I
mean,
believe there's been some.
AWR was very serious with me yesterday. They were like, let's hope one of those pumps don't go out. Let's hope the barge pumps don't go out. That pumps our water from the barge up into here. Those pumps in that water plant pump it to every one of us. They go out, that's an expensive, 50 grand. And out of the 190,000 that the treasurer is sitting on, we'll have to pay it.
I mean, hasn't the PUC recommended that we consolidate with a larger water supply corporation?
I haven't asked them that. Good. Good question. They have not been too adamant about an IOU. Just to let you know. And the single person that I talked to. Investor-owned utility, if everybody wants to understand.
They may just sit.
And why that is because they can jack your rates up. So we spent 4 years lowering our rates. You go to an IOU, they buy us out, they'll have control over the rates.
But you are already talking about having to raise the rates to cover our,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
In the
failing
last,
system.
the last PUC meeting, they just put 3 water corporations into IOUs.
Yep,
They
they
just
did.
voted on 3 at the last
Yep.
PUC meeting.
Well, they
2
put
weeks ago.
themselves into it, they had to vote, yeah,
And
the
they
PUC
approved
had to
it.
sign off on it, yep. They had to sign off on rates, structure, and so on. But yeah, and those were in bad.
So the question becomes, do we continue with what's going on out here?
It's a great question,
And pay
Al.
have to pay all these additional rates, or get a professional company to come in and absorb us, or take whatever take us over and pay higher rates to where we have nothing political. We have a top of the line water supply corporation.
We can
I
pursue that.
I just didn't see somebody come in where we take it totally out of our hands, where there's no, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. There's not the temptation, there's not the appearance of corruption. And I think this community may be able to get back together as a community.
I'd love to do that.
It's the POA board. I mean, we had a great year last year on the POA board. Why? We just quietly took care of business. We didn't have any issues. The small issues that came up, we handled them. We listened, we talked, we took people's advice on things. And I mean, I don't mean to pat myself on the back being on the board, but I thought the POA board, all 6 of us did a pretty good job, and there was no big uproar in the community. But the water corporation, we just, since I've been out here for the 29 years, we've had issues out here. I sat on the first water board when the Windermere Oaks Water Supply Corporation was formed back in '96, I believe it was. I don't remember a whole lot about it, 'cause I've slept since then, but it was never set up to be anything like this, what it's turned out to be.
Nobody anticipated it.
And I just think that if we take it totally out of the hands of this community, where somebody professional, the company's running this thing, regardless, we're either gonna pay higher rates to get everything fixed, or we're gonna pay somebody to come in and fix it for us and run it professionally. I just see that as well.
Absolutely.
Alan, I sat in the POA meeting, and I listened very carefully. If you look around this neighborhood, things are running down and have been for years. It requires a lot of money to keep up the facilities, and you mentioned quite rightly, I think, that there are a lot of retirees here, people are hoping to retire here. Problem is, it costs money to have these nice things.
That's right.
And so you may think that you're running things well, but if they were run honestly, you would have to ask people to give a lot more money. And Paul said it over, let me finish, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Paul said several times during that meeting, we need participation from everybody. Right? I mean, there were less people in that meeting than there are in this one, and this is not good. So the reason he needs to get the message out is because people need to understand that it costs money to have nice things. Go ahead.
I agree with you 100%, but herein lies the problem. We, by law, could only raise our assessment fees by 10%. To raise it more than 10%, you have to have 66% of the community voting.
Right.
We've never got 66% of the community out here to
Right,
vote.
so that's the leadership problem, right? You have
I
to,
don't think it's leadership. I
no,
think
I'm
it's
sorry, if someone came up and said, this is the vision for the community, and rally the people, that's a leadership thing,
Well,
right?
And I can tell you why I know that, because I ran for the water board a few years ago. And I went around and knocked on doors and asked people to vote. I asked people, put a sign in people, we don't want to get involved. We don't want to get involved. No,
Has
we
the
don't want our
BOA
name on it.
ever asked for
We
a
don't want to get
vote?
involved. Huh?
Has the BOA ever applied for the membership for a vote?
Yes, we sent out a survey. Now, I'm not on the.
No, I
BOA
mean,
board.
to raise
Yeah,
raise
once.
more than 10%.
No, once we had a vote to do something to the roads and it passed. It was 2011, 12, I don't remember.
I know,
So,
but Brian,
did they
you're
get good
talking about,
participation?
it costs
It
money
It
to
passed,
have nice things, but as soon as we start talking about the potential that we could have a nice water supply facility by maybe becoming an IOU, people say, well, it just cost us more money.
Right.
So now it's like the
It's a
dog
double-edged
chasing the
sword.
tail.
You know, it's a double-edged sword. I
We've
mean,
got to pay for it somehow. We're going to pay for this water supply corporation somehow.
Right.
The question is, how do you want to pay for it? You want to pay for it by handing it over to a corporation and you kind of wipe your hands clean of it all? And they're under much more stringent federal guidelines? Or do we pay for it out of our pocket and we continue to fight over it and sue each other over it, whatever it is else we enjoy doing around here? So, I mean, you're right, it costs money to have nice things.
Yeah, each option you mentioned costs money.
Right.
You're gonna pay for it
You
either
pay for it
way.
either way.
And to that, Michelle, an investor-owned utility has to go to the PUC to raise the rates.
Right, they can't.
No matter what.
There's nothing arbitrary about being.
Water supply
IOU.
corporations don't have to do anything, but 5 people sit up there and go, we're gonna raise it 71%, and if you don't like it, sue us. That's
Well,
exactly how it's done.
they're also gonna realize that this corporation, this water corporation, has a lot of debt. They're gonna buy debt.
and they're going to buy old infrastructure.
Oh, I'm not gonna get into a debate on whether it can be done or not. I'm
I
just
know.
saying, when you have an investor-owned utility, you have a lot more say over it than you do here.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, Danny. I was going on what Aaron said at the last meeting.
With all
You
due
know, I don't
respect,
think so.
with all
I'm
due
just,
respect,
you know,
I didn't put the video out yet, I'm going to.
okay. No, I'm just saying what,
Poor Erin lied to this entire community when she was here. So I didn't, after she did that, I didn't listen
She
much
what?
to what she had. She lied to the community.
Okay.
Are there other communities around here that have investor-owned utility?
Barton Creek Lakeside and Ridge Harbor.
Yeah.
So why don't
Right,
we-
I was pointing
why
over
don't-
here, Ridge Harbor.
Would it be possible to have someone that's on the water, whatever their water management from their communities come and give us their experience with their investor-owned utility and just help us understand, how does this work? How is, how's
Sure.
everybody liking it?
We can
What
put it
are
on-
the
we can
rates?
put it-
What
take it
are
as
you
an
really
action item.
paying? I mean,
We had that once before two guys came, and at the time that they were gonna, if they was to take over, our rates would probably be about what they were, high.
They were-
I know people
they were
over in Ridge
lower.
Harbor.
okay, I mean,
They were
I was
lower.
over at their house last night. I biked over there.
I mean, it would
They
be
they
nice
pay
if-
they pay $192. They pay $192.
Ridge Harbor was bought by PUC when PUC was buying up some of the small
Right.
water corporations. And then PUC decided they didn't
want
want to
anything of those things, and they sold it off.
They sold it to Corix, and
Right.
that's why
Corix
Ridge
is
Harbor
the-
has Corix.
Yep.
And now Corix has bought large water
Entities.
entities,
Yep.
yes. And I don't think Corix would buy us now.
Nope. I don't think they would either. They got away from us because of all of our old stuff. Or a very good comment. They might buy us, but it'd be very cheap. They'll go, okay, because we got so much to upgrade here. I mean, this 4 years is
Corix does everything from Hollingsworth Corner all the way back down there to the lake. Lakeside Beach, what's the other one down there? They do all of those communities. I suspect they got
AWR
it
works
for other
with
entities.
several IOUs in their portfolio. They're just the operator. AWR is just the operator. They have certified, licensed operator to run the plant, to know how to chemically treat the water coming out of the lake, where to buy it, how to test it, and so on. That's what those operators do, and how to fix problems within the plant. They run it, and they run the waste system as well. So that's what they are, and they have clients that are investor-owned utilities. If you want us to reach out to a few and get some presentations, we'll do that. Danny, you have a comment?
No.
Okay.
Well, what if we sell it to an investor, and then we have that carrot over there, they get the land, and they would sell it.
Maybe.
So with that, that might cancel out some of that because they got this little program over there. And then where we can't, I don't know all I'm talking about, then where we can't build hangars or do that with that land over there, they're for profit, so they could do that. They can't do that?
No. First off, you can't build hangars over there.
Okay.
Can't.
Okay.
I
believe you.
I'll fight everybody on that one because I've looked at. We're landlocked. That property is landlocked from an airplane unless you get an easement to the front lot.
Got it, can't do it.
Yeah.
Got it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Why is that guy?
That isn't what Jose de la Fuente told us.
It doesn't matter.
In
I've
the court
checked.
case.
I'm just letting you know that there is an easement. It's a 25-foot easement, but you can't put a taxiway with 25 feet. You need 50. So in order to get to that back lot, the 6 acres we own, we need 50. We only got 25. That's a problem.
There is the setback required
There is a setback requirement too.
that adds 25 feet.
Yes.
He's already got.
So, but we don't have it for taxiways over there. It's tied up. That's the problem.
That's impossible.
Well, check the records,
Jose
Danny.
de la Fuente told us we had taxiway easements, and Dana Martin told us we had taxiway easements.
Well, you can go check what.
Yes.
You can go check the easement logs. You can go check them. According to Heritage Title, no. They're the one who did the land. They're the ones who researched it. You know. If you want to read all the documentation, feel free to.
I want to get on with the meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion about this? So on your next bill, This is what you'll be billed at. So when you see it, we might have hiccups. We think we got it all straightened out, right, Renee? Lori's done a pretty good job of getting ready for this.
The programming's been set
Yeah,
up.
the programming's been set up.
Confirms
There might be
that.
glitches. Be patient. Call us if there isn't. Okay.
In order to pick up those rates, there's a resolution, and the resolution, that's the reason, there was a primary reason for Brian to be able to join was, well, because we had to have a quorum for the resolution to adjust the tariff and those rates. So I make a motion
Okay,
that.
point of information,
Sure,
please.
Please.
Would you clarify which position, which unexpired position that Brian is filling? I think we should be aware of that for being proper.
Position 4.
Position 4 is a good one.
Position 4.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
You okay with 4?
Until the.
You got your choice.
unexpired time.
Okay. You have your choice.
Can I mention one thing?
Absolutely.
It may be good to acknowledge that what you have in your hand there took a lot of work. I mean, I've sat in many of the meetings over the 4 years I think we've been here, and we've come to a meeting and nobody had any financial information for us. Right? Nothing. And what we did finally get every now and then was inaccurate. It was blatantly inaccurate. All right? Now, these are volunteer members up here. You need to cut them some slack because they're here in their own time trying to help out this community. And if you could see, especially if you see some of the videos, it's a pretty rough environment. So let's be a little grateful, I think, about the effort that's shown right there in your hands. So,
Thank you. Okay.
So in summarization for the resolution, you have the numbers in front of you. Those are the ones that Jeff has just talked about. Talking about the usage rates, the base rates, and the volumetric flow rates for the septic. So this is, I make a motion that the rates that have been presented as well, that are actually in the PUC document.
Just one comment. These are taken from the PUC order from last Thursday. That's where we got these numbers. We didn't make them up. We just basically copied them over, and that's what's in this resolution. It's the new base rates, the refunds, surcharge, and the usage rates. Those were all in that order. Did I miss anything?
No.
Yeah. Those 4 categories.
So I make a motion that the tariff rates and for volumetric flow for both the sewage as well as for the water, that we accept the PUC and put that into our tariff with the date being 3/26.
I second that motion. I move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Rates approved.
Thanks.
New business.
We have, you have the agenda right there.
Yeah, I do.
B was discussing potential action about the IRS request.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to address it? Or you
well,
want to summarize?
It's summarized as it's being reviewed by our legal team and our accountant.
What are you talking about?
The IRS, our strategy. They're coming in 2 weeks. They're trying to scramble to get all the documentation ready for the audit. The gentleman is coming up from Tampa. We're just letting the legal team handle it. Their strategy is going back to Norton and our CPA firm and getting them in touch because they're the ones that gave us the data. And we'll let them handle it from a legal standpoint. Windermere shouldn't, well, we handle the burden, yeah, but we got to get our former CPA and our tax person involved because they're the ones that gave us the data. So,
yeah, if I may, the point about the IRS audit for the year 2022, I think is absolutely valid. Looking at that document, and all of you have the right to do that, but that's public domain since we're a nonprofit organization. There were multiple verbal questions, oral, that tie into the water company and into the nonprofits that were falsified, as well as the structure of the organization that was recorded there. The nonprofit requires that listing of all the directors of the organization as well as the officers of the organization, and not one of the reported individuals was in the right category. And the signing of the document that was for the 2022 taxes was done in July of 2023 by Mr. Schaefer, and it was not addressed by the board nor on any of our discussions. So it's just, unfortunately, we pay the tab.
Yep.
Try to get that correct.
We are paying the tab, because it's in legal's hands.
Is that in the budget?
No, I got $3,000 for legal fees in the budget for the year. I've already blown that away in this month.
That's the one.
Yeah, yeah.
Item C.
Yeah, item C, okay, so we discussed that. Item C, potential actions on documents in preparation for the May 18th members' special meeting.
Yeah. Daniel made the point in the last meeting validly that the credentials crew had not had a chance to work as a whole to be able to put that document together. As it turns out, with the PUC order that was activated on March the 7th, page 5, item K, requires that before any special members meeting that has that typically they will always have some kind of election, that the validated members roster has to be provided to the PUC 60 days in advance. And so since the 60 days in advance requirement would have been that it had to be done by March the 13th, we will not be able to have the members meeting on May the 18th, which was there in order to correct the three largest fallacy of problems in the amendments of the bylaws. So that will be someplace downstream.
Yeah.
So the May 18th members' special meeting is canceled.
And
And what is
there's no
referred?
real hurry for that either. I think in the compliance filing, it has to be done sometime before September.
You're right.
You're absolutely right.
There's quite a bit of time there. But the irony is, if we had the vision to correct the bylaws earlier, the removal votes would have been valid, and the members would have had member control to be able to make the decision as to who remains on the board and who doesn't. As it is now, the language that's currently in the bylaws requires over 50% of all members to vote in the affirmative to be able to remove anybody on the board. And typically that's in violation of Chapter 22 and Chapter 67 Act statements.
Renee, have you got the certified members list so far?
We do. We have one. We have one that's prepared, and that came as a function for the billing work.
So you're going to send that to the PUC?
Done that with
We
Lori,
can.
exactly.
We'll be ready to go with that.
Yeah.
Yes. And we continue to refine that, and every time we have to reach out to the members.
Yeah.
Like, it was refined on the 24th at the annual meeting, even though there was no election.
And
We
make
still went through and refined it.
Make sure you change, Patty brought it up on the 12th. In the bylaws, it cites to the wrong statute. Or, you remember? The one with
Correct. The reference is wrong. The language is right, but the reference is wrong. We need to correct the reference. Good point, Dan.
Okay. Moving on to D, set date, time, and location of the next board meeting. I think the next one was on a Saturday?
Well, we
Or
were
no?
planning to have one
On
on
the
April the 16th.
16.
And that would be more than 30 days in advance of the May 18th, because the third or fourth event has to be 30 days before.
Yeah.
So we have the flexibility of moving that anywhere we want to.
Right. Keep in mind, this was a special meeting because we had to ratify the new rates. That's why this one was called. That's why it was called. And I got to get that in the billing cycle. Believe me, I tried to get another month out of the PUC and they wouldn't budge a bit. I was like, give me one more billing cycle so I can collect some revenue. They were like, nope, next billing cycle is coming up at the end of the month. So that's why we had to have this meeting so quickly, because we had to ratify those rates. Okay, do we have, well, what is currently scheduled in our calendar? You got it off the top of your head.
Okay, no, I don't.
Why don't we just stick to that, Renee?
We can do that. If you want to move them all to vote them on, all of them on Saturdays.
No,
What we did in the past, we were going to have every quarterly on a
Yeah,
Saturday
quarterly on a
and
Saturday.
2 working ones in the middle.
so I think the next one should be on a Saturday.
So it can be.
Let me just see. Hold, please. Want to move on to new business while we look this up? Or we could.
I don't think anyone's going to have an answer.
What do we got? What's this month?
It's March, yep.
Okay. Were those the ones that we ratified, or were those? I thought there was one on a Saturday. No?
Well, there's March, month of March, and next month, nothing.
Oh,
Or Saturday, which is the 18th.
18th, okay. Why don't we just stick with the next one at the 18th of May? Do we need to meet before that? That's 45 days.
That is a Saturday.
Yes.
No, we can do that.
Okay.
That's the Saturday that's after Mother's Day weekend and before Memorial Day weekend.
That's correct. It's in the middle of the month. So I make a motion, the next board meeting is on the 18th as defined before.
And where do we want to hold that?
You do it right here, since it's during the day, we won't freeze.
Okay, we can do that.
Did April 18th?
May
May.
18th, Saturday.
So we're not going to have one in April.
Yeah, we won't have one in April. That's correct. Okay. We'll just cancel that one because there's no reason for it.
Okay.
Unless something, drastic happens, which at this place could happen.
Did you say what time?
I could get arrested.
On Saturdays, let's use 10
Yeah, that one's on a
a.m.
Saturday.
June?
Yeah, 10 a.m. Yeah.
And we'll use the pavilion.
Well, I make a motion to have it on May 18th at 10 a.m. Pavilion.
Very good. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Any new business? You have any new?
In the discussion that we've covered, the new business should include, as Janet requested, a copy of the budget. We should have those out for everybody. It's revision 3. It's gone through a lot of scrubs. And we should potentially ask for organizations to address us about the potential of and what it
An
is for
IOU?
the IOU work.
Okay. That's what I was wrote down here. Okay. Any other discussions out there? Anybody would like to add to new business? Keep your requests flying. Come on.
Can you tell me, can you put on the agenda the real estate committee and their activities and keep us,
I think we need a field trip to go over to the airport and check out all this property.
Go ahead. You can come over anytime. It's right behind my hangar. It's a little forestry. One of the things that AWR sensed, they informed me yesterday as I was sitting there as a board member, going through their bill. They said they'd be more than happy to come out and show you guys how the plant runs. maybe we need to, Renee, the more I think about it, maybe we should have the May 18th meeting at the plant. You gotta bring chairs, but they would put one of their operators on it. I'm just throwing it out there. We would all just have to bring our own chairs and sit inside the gate, and then you take tours of the plant. They would show you what the storage tanks do, what our clarifier is, you know, how the water's coming in, water's going out, why they're spending so much money on chemicals. They thought it would be a very helpful thing. They expressed that to me yesterday. We could do it on May
I think
18th.
that as well, since we could use the internal, the driveway area.
Yeah, we
with
just
the
use the
chairs and
driveway.
tables
Yep.
For our discussion.
Yep.
And then as a part of it, we do the
Yeah.
tour of the plant.
Yeah,
I say we have,
Question.
we have a bake sale.
a bake sale.
We can, money in
Hey,
car wash.
I've talked about donating my refund and people shot that down, but it is viable, by the way. Very viable. As long as you use it for capital expenditures and there's no IRS issues on that, but we can talk more about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna move the May 18th meeting to the plant, bring your own chairs, and we'll do a plant tour,
At 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
We're not gonna get arrested if we're
Nope,
That's right.
we have keys,
Constable there.
since it's your water plant,
Yeah,
anybody wants to go through it.
that's good.
I think it'll be a very good session, and they thought it would help you guys a great deal. They sensed that from the one meeting, that there's a lot of people who don't understand why they're spending so much on chemicals and what's going on. They'll talk about what a true clarifier would do versus what we have over there, where our storage tanks are, and so on.
and they give us a hint on what a clarifier would cost now.
Not yet. I will have that at the next board meeting, they guaranteed me. And that would have been April 16th. They would have had it then, so I will have it for the May 18th meeting, for sure. Because they promised me, and since we postponed the April 16th meeting, that they said they'd have it. Yes.
And one other item on new business that we were talking about is there's the TOMA Integrity Organization. Bruce Sorgen, Dick Dial, and I were part of the settlement that was $38,000 and change is going to be booked to the WSC as their benefit. And that's the work that the three of us did with the Friendship Homes. So the settlement from Friendship Homes that goes to the WWC is $38,000, and that's miscellaneous income. So
Did that include in the 191? Or is that on top of the 191?
no, that's not. That's not.
Gives you another 3 more months to run. That's good. That's what we need. You know, that gives us, gives us plenty of runway.
It's a small benefit.
It does give us plenty of runway.
that we provided.
Yeah.
Anything else in new
No.
business?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
Brian?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Good. One last thing.
Sure.
Um,
Don't tell me you don't do
Yeah, it's more and more clear to me, as well as my cardiac doctor, since I picked up 2 stents in January for this, that I should step down, and I'm going to open up this seat. I'm going to be a member. The last meeting put me as an assistant secretary treasurer agent, and the assistant secretary agent performs under the supervision of the board. It can be a member's job, it's a volunteer, it's unpaid, so I'll continue to do that, but I'm stepping down from the board.
Great. Thank you for your service as always, Renee. You've worked your ass off the last 12 months. So still no volunteers.
Next is agenda, next is adjourn.
Yeah. I make a motion to adjourn. You got to send me that in writing, by the way, so you're not
You're not gonna blame anybody?
What? You're not gonna what?
Not gonna blame anybody?
Who? Me?
No, Renee.
Yeah, Renee. Oh.
No, I should have stepped down already before. I apologize for being so slow.
No. Oh no. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'm no longer here.
No, you have to send it to me in writing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're still on.
I can second that
Yeah, you
motion.
can second that motion.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All in favor? Aye. Adjournment. Wow. That was one of the quickest meetings we've had.
9:24. 7:24.
So May 18th,
May 18th, 10 o'clock. But wait, so they're still going to do what would happen if we all